Hey guys, how you doing? Today we're going to talk about Wes Watson and his performance, or the lack thereof, on the Fresh and Fit podcast. So, for those of you that didn't see it, there were a panel of men all giving their definition of what they think success is. And, they're all kind of, the two previous guys were kind of giving some generic, bullshit, be the best you can be, ultimate version of yourself thing. Wes gets on the panel and starts going off on, rich, ripped, and rare. You gotta have the baddest bitch. You gotta pull up in the most expensive car, have a lot of money, all this stuff. Nothing wrong with substantively what he's saying. But then, a gentleman by the name of Andrew Wilson gets on and gives his definition of success, which is really antithetical to Wes Watson, talking about success is actually a rejection of materialism and how it's all about being part of the greater human apparatus and family and all that. He wasn't attacking Wes, but Wes exploded on him and started demeaning him and bullying him and making fun of the way the guy looks and that he's got titties and 10-inch arms and this and that, threatening the guy that he's gonna smack the shit out of him and calling him a faggot and all this. Now, I've been around the block a couple times and I've met some dangerous people. I've met people that have killed people. I've met people who, come here. I've met people who have, been to war, been to combat, have killed people with their bare hands. None of them act like Wes Watson. None of them are loud. None of them like to brag about how tough they are. None of them brag about that it's something I only know because I've gotten to know these people pretty well. Or I've heard other people tell me stories about them. That's when you know someone's really a badass, is that their reputation speaks for themselves. They don't need to tell you about it. There's a guy at my jiu-jitsu gym, I'm not going to mention his name, but he's a really dangerous dude. He's an elite level martial artist in many different disciplines. And I have a lot of respect for this guy. And I always like to train with him because I learn a lot from him. And he's unequivocally, hands down, the best student in the whole gym. And it's a big gym. But here's the deal. I see the way that guy carries himself. I saw him in Whole Foods one time. And I saw that he's very quiet. He's very unassuming. Doesn't try to attract attention. He goes about his business. He's respectful. He's a gentleman. Serious people who are lethal, who are dangerous, don't advertise it because they know the consequences of having to get down and be lethal and dangerous, and they really don't want to have to deal with the consequences because they're going to be consequences. What Wes Watson proves is that he is incapable of controlling his emotions because he has a very fragile ego. And Andrew Wilson, although not intentionally, but subsequently exposed him that Wes is weak. He is incapable of having an adult conversation with another man that disagrees with him. And that is because Wes Watson is underdeveloped. He's on steroids. He's out of control. He is surrounded by yes men, people that just validate him. He's a man that if he's not validated and somebody has a difference of opinion, he can't handle it. He can't handle it. You know, Wes is all about showing how tough he is, how strong he is, how successful he is, and how he's greater than everybody. But all he proved in that show is that he was the weakest man there. He was the most out of control. He was the most sensitive. Wes is a very sensitive person. You know, he has a very, very, very fragile ego. And that's what we saw. And he wasn't even being attacked. Imagine if somebody actually attacked his ego, front on, head on, and really went at him. He'd lose his mind. And that's why Wes doesn't ever put himself in a situation where he's going to be challenged. Because Wes only wants layups. He only wants easy wins. So he goes on podcasts where people are just going to give him layups all day. He doesn't want to be challenged because he can't handle it. He's not mature enough emotionally and intellectually to be able to delineate between a person and their perspective, and to still be able to respect somebody that has a difference of opinion. That requires a certain level of character, of maturity, which Wes doesn't have. And so he's so unaware of himself that he probably thinks that he was the greatest person that night at the event, when in fact he proved to be the biggest fucking moron, the biggest bitch on that stage. And I know I'm not alone in criticizing him because I've seen the videos. The guy is on the decline. He, on a major platform, showed his true colors. You know, there's something really telling when a guy's really loud, when a guy talks too much. There's something really telling when just someone who has a difference of opinion hits a nerve and the guy explodes. Wes Watson is afraid. He's insecure. He's obviously on steroids. And he hates himself. See, Wes Watson has to get validated. He's the type of guy, and he even said this in one of his videos, I need my woman to constantly tell me how awesome I am. Wes needs to be validated constantly because he doesn't truly believe in himself. Wes, doesn't matter how much money he makes, how hot his girlfriend is, how many crazy cars he gets, Wes Watson fundamentally does not believe in himself, and that was on full display at this event, and Andrew Wilson just subsequently happened to expose him for it. So if you're a follower of Wes Watson, you need to really reevaluate why you are, because you are following a man of weakness. You are following a man of fragility. You are following a man that doesn't have true character, because when it gets a little heated, when there's a little tiny modicum of resistance put on this guy, he falls. He falls hard. And the higher you climb, the lower you fall. And Wes is on his way out. He is down. And this is the beginning of Wes Watson's fall. He really screwed himself. I'm out.